Hello everyone, this is Aeroica, and as always, thanks so much for stopping by for another video. In this episode, I'll cover the Creons Ice dungeon, where he tries to nullify taunts, freeze us out, and stall our energy regeneration. But fear not, because even though this Sub-Zero dungeon has a few challenges, I'll show you how to skate your way to the boss and melt these frosty mobs into a roadside puddle. For this dungeon, I brought Stonefist, Esmond, Icebloom, and Pontifex. All of my heroes are 6-starred level 70 heroes, and they're all fully ascended. None of them have applied blessings. Stonefist is the perfect tank for this dungeon, as his impervious trait prevents him from being frozen or chilled, as well as several other status afflictions. This is important as melee heroes can easily become afflicted when they attack mobs in this dungeon, stalling out their energy regeneration and effectively reducing them to basic attacks. Stonefist is one tank that is not only immune to the above afflictions, but is also able to be healed by traditional healing. Esmond is brought because of her automatic per turn heal, which greatly assists in managing Stonefist as the single tank. Additionally, she has a well-balanced set of abilities to handle group and single target heals to cover the group if needed. Icebloom is brought not only for her DPS, which includes a 1.75 mystical damage multiplier towards the mobs encountered in this dungeon, but also because of her misdirect ability. She will play a vital role in making sure that Stonefist has a constant taunt active so that he can take the hits, the ones that are tauntable anyway, at your team. Her Let It Snow ability can keep some of the non-tauntable mobs frozen in their tracks, as well as having a chance to heal Pontifex and Esmond since they are not frozen immune. Pontifex is brought for his DPS, as he also has the same 1.75 damage mystical multiplier as Icebloom. This is critical because the mobs in this dungeon have a high health pool, and even with his damage increase, your hits can seem like they have little effect on the mobs, and especially the boss. Pontifex also has his bone armor ability, which will increase his attack and defense, as well as provide protection from cold-based abilities. For this dungeon, I brought 3 energy potions. This is done to ensure that any heals or abilities that need to be powered as to prevent death can be performed. However, you can substitute one of the energy potions with a heal potion to counter the mobs that cannot be taunted, so you can provide an emergency heal if needed. This dungeon has a recommended level of 72, and if your heroes are below the current level cap of 70, you may encounter difficulty in completing this dungeon. This dungeon has 3 platforms which must be cleared prior to reaching the boss. The trash mobs that you'll encounter are all tanks and consist of Tidespear Goons, which are a water-based Cyclops, and Berry Warblers, which are water-based cubes. The Tidespear Goons are immune to taunts and represent the biggest threat on the platforms. Because of this, they should be the priority kill whenever present. Each of this type of trash mob has a Rampage ability, which is a 2-hit multi or single target strike for high damage. The Warblers are equipped with a taunt and can cause a problem if they do so as you're trying to clear out the Tidespear Goons. Your more fragile heroes will be placed at great risk if one of these mobs taunts you off of the goons, and you should use Icebloom's Cryo Sleep to nullify the taunt so you can resume the recommended kill order. Even though the goons are taunt immune, the warblers are not, and therefore you should use a taunt whenever possible. This will keep attacks from this type of mob directed at the tank and will not subject your other heroes to unnecessary hits. The boss fight consists of 3 mobs, all called Hydroosiums. Of the 3, 2 are clearly smaller and come with similar sized health pools when compared to the main boss. The main boss is not only larger in size, but his attacks will do more damage as well. When any melee hero attacks, they can become afflicted with the chilled status. If so, this will prevent your hero from being able to regenerate energy. Since this occurs often, your hero will be placed in a perpetual state of energy stall, and thus confined to using only basic attacks. This composition answers this mechanic by using primarily ranged DPS, with a tank that is immune to the chilled status. When you reach the boss, make sure you have an active taunt and use Icebloom's Misdirect before Stonefist has expired. You should focus your DPS on either one of the smaller mobs until it is killed. However, all of the mobs in this boss fight are equipped with taunts, and this will draw you away from your preferred target. If the taunting mob is the main boss, you can use only basic attacks, thus charging up your other abilities until the taunt falls off. Since your goal is to reduce the number of attacks against your team, your hero's abilities will be ready once the taunt expires, and you can place high DPS attacks where you originally intended. If the taunting mob is one of the smaller mobs, you can use Icebloom's Cryosleep to temporarily take the taunt out of play and get back to the preferred target. Once the two smaller targets have been removed, focus your DPS on the main boss. Make sure to keep an active taunt at all times and use any and all debuffs so that you can maximize DPS. The main boss has a high health pool, and this fight can take a while to win. Stay alert, watch your cooldowns, and keep an eye on Stonefist's health. Use heals a bit early as you attempt to compensate for the next round of attacks, and consider casting Yasmin's Aegis Wall on a different hero each round until all except Stonefist are protected. This will provide a safety net in case the taunt falls off and will preserve your 3-star victory. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found the video informative. If you did, make sure you give the subscribe button a click so you can be notified when my next video comes out. Let me know what worked for you in the comment section below, or send me a screenshot of your 3-star victory using the direct message feature in Instagram. You can also follow me on Twitter for game updates, new hero releases, tactics, and other information. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you at the next video.